let me just do a quick recap for those that just joined the community within the last 72 hours, and then we'll now get into our knowledge sharing for this evening. So the things that we're actually meant to learn, we'll get into it. Hopefully everything shouldn't take more than 45 minutes. All right, so how did we get to where we are today? For those of you that came a bit earlier, when you came in, we did a new member onboarding session for all of you. We basically explained what the Upton community was all about. Peter, sorry, I'm going to move you. There's a bit of noise in the background, so I'll move you. We did a new member onboarding session, and during that session, we explained what the Upton community was all about. Basically saying that it was a community for us to be able to put processes and structures in place. We have subgroups that some of you might have seen already. Yes, people haven't been admitted to the subgroups yet. Subgroups like HR, accounting, marketing, and so on and so forth. So that those subgroups are also there for your staff as they join to also be in those subgroups. They get mentorship, they get support, they can ask for advisory and so on and so forth. They will also be prompted on business happenings, okay, across board. So for example, if it is the end of the quarter and you want to do maybe like an appraisal, there'll be prompts in there, there'll be trainings around that. If it is to do with accounting and it's time for certain statutory payments to be made, there'll be prompts in there. They can be coaching if your staff doesn't know how to do so, and so on and so forth. So those sort of groups are there as well. We explained that you would also be given accountability partner, and an accountability partner is somebody that will support you throughout your journey with us. So as long as you're in the community, you have an accountability partner that supports you. So we explained a number of different things like that, and then we also mentioned that the resources where you'll be doing various types of activities to be able to put better structures in place in your business is on Trainer Central, and we provided you with that link. Now, if you're a new member that came in the last 72 hours and you weren't part of the new member onboarding, for now, because new members come in on a daily basis now, because we're actively actually looking for new members to join, we have set to ourselves that we would have new member onboarding every Thursday. So if you missed out on the last onboarding, there will be a new one on Thursday that you can join. Okay, and we urge you to join because we explain better. So what I've summarized, we actually explain it better for you to fully understand how to get the most out of the community. All right. After the new member onboarding, we then told ourselves that, okay, we're now ready to get started. So many of you give us your right-hand persons. A number of your right-hand persons are in this meeting as well, which is fantastic. And then the next stage is for us to now actually start the activities of structuring our business. So let's first of all even understand, why are we doing what we're doing? We're doing this because we do as business owners, we do not want our businesses to revolve around us. We want situations whereby, we put structures and processes in place and our staff know exactly what to do. Even when things are not working, they know how to even brainstorm and think about solutions and come up with solutions that they can implement themselves. Obviously, they can review it with you to ensure that yes, you're in alignment with what it is that they want to do, and then they can run with it, right? That's the kind of community that we're building. We want something that is sustainable, something that is continuous. Many of us have had consulting services done and all of that, but sometimes those are not always as sustainable, because even after we leave, we're not able to continue some of the improvements that we might have put in place. So we said to ourselves, the community is even better, whereby there's continued support. So even if a staff leaves, when the new staff comes in, you'll know where to pick up from. Your accountability partner will even support in the onboarding of the new staff and so on and so forth. So that is the whole essence of the community. So now we're ready to start with key activities of actually putting those processes in place. So I'm going to be sharing my slides and talking to us about the activities that we need to complete for the rest of this week into early next week. Okay. So Let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen, people?
Okay. Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Okay, so for those of you that have successfully come onto the Trainer Central platform that we're using to house all our resources, this is what it looks like. I'm sure you have all seen it. We would continuously be adding content here for us and bringing our attention here to be able to do one or two critical tasks and so on and so forth. So when you came in, you would have seen the first set of activities, which is just a way to welcome you guys and just make sure that, yes, you've done all the necessary things that you need to do to be fully onboarded onto the platform. There's a nice little welcome video from myself. I hope you have watched it. And then many of you would have done the baseline survey. We've explained many times why the survey is important. It's for us to be able to measure your growth. We want to be able to also understand the key issues that you're facing at the moment so that your accountability partner can be mindful of those things as you journey in this community with us. So please, anytime you're giving a survey to do, please fill it properly, fill it accurately, and take your time to do it. It's important. A wise man once said that what is not measured is not tracked, right? You can't track what you're not measuring. So we want to be able to track progress. We want to be able to track growth. So please, if you've not done the survey or you want to redo your survey, please let us know and we will resend the link to you. You joined the WhatsApp community as well. You also be joining the subgroups. And then we also advise that you should download the Trainer Central app. Now, the reason is for you to also have like easy access to these resources. But when you're actually carrying out the activities, we actually advise that you do so on your desktop because working on your phone is not going to be easy. But at least you can use your phone for quick reference. You can use it to download the template very quickly and so on and so forth. All right. So having said that, we're now going into the first set of activities that we need to be doing today. The first set of activities that you're going to be embarking on is task 1. So this bit that I am circling, okay? And whilst that is opening, I will come back here at some point, but let me start my slides. Can you see my slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So don't worry, I only have 7 slides to present to you all. All right, so the very first thing that we want you to do in this journey of putting proper structures in place is to first and foremost reorientate your staff in your organization. So this is a very good junction right now for you to tell your staff that, you know what, this is a new era. Yes, we've been in business for however long, whether it is 6 months, whether it is 10 years. Yes, we've been in business. Clearly, there's some certain processes and structures that are not working the way we want it to work. For now, we're coming into a new era and we want things to work. And peradventure, people have come into the organizations in different ways, whether they came in with very good onboarding or not, whether they even know what your vision is or whatever the case might be. It's fine. We are now at that juncture where we are going to set all of these things right. Now, if you're an existing business and you feel like you have a lot of these things in place, fantastic. You can maybe review what you currently have and decide whether you want to update it or whether it suffices for what it is you want to do. But for those of us that do not have these things in place, these are the things that we want you to do this week. So you're going to create a vision statement. I'll talk a bit more about that in a second. You're going to create your company values. You're going to set financial goals, or at least some kind of goal that is trackable. So even if it is not the financial aspect of it, it would probably be the what would lead to the financial aspect of your goal. And then you're also going to be drawing your org structure, and I'll tell you why that is important. So it's just these 4 things that we want you to do with your right hand first this week. All right, so let's talk about the first one, your vision statement. Now, I know that what we hear people talk about vision a lot. It's such a cliche, and everybody says, "What's your vision? What's your vision?" and so on and so forth. But the truth of the matter is, if you are serious about structuring your business and like having a cohesive team that really understands why you're in business and why you're doing what you're doing, you would know that your vision statement is very important, right? Because it helps you, it reflects on the dreams that you're actually trying to achieve for yourself in the future, or as a company rather in the future. It says that a vision statement is your guiding star. It is your backbone, right? It's a bold declaration of where your business is headed. So if you don't have one, it's important that you create one. So it's not just a few words like it's stated there, it's the future that you want to create for your company, your industry, or even the world. And I will show you, I know it might sound like a bit funny, like with the world's power. I've not even finished conquering what it is that I'm trying to conquer. You're talking about the world. But I will explain, because we need to be able to dream and have like a compelling statement that even our staff can be compelled by. So, for example, this is our own vision for Upton. It says that to be the most preferred community for business owners and their staff, collectively building structured, scalable, and legacy-driven businesses that operate beyond them. There are lots of action words in this statement, right? When I explained this vision to my team, they got it. We could have just said, yes, we're just a business community. But when they understood that what we're trying to build is a community that will be legacy driven. So when we say legacy, that means that we want to build businesses that can even be passed down from one generation to the other. That does not revolve around a business owner, right? And so for that to happen, they have to be structured, they have to be scalable. That's where we are going. And so it was compelling that, okay, if we help business owners, we can have more businesses that can outlive business owners. So that's our own bigger picture. That's what we really want to try and achieve. And so we want to be that preferred community that when you're thinking about a community that genuinely and truly supports businesses and supports them to grow. So it's not just networking or yes, that's good as well, because when you network, you're forming formidable partnerships and so on and so forth, and you can benefit from each other. But not just that. We are saying, in addition to that, we want businesses to be structured so that our ultimate goal of having legacy-driven businesses will be achieved. So can you see how our vision statement is compelling, and how I personally have been able to get my staff behind what it is that we're doing? So even when we're pushing and sometimes some certain things are not working, because we know what the vision is, we are pushing and forging ahead, and we know that gradually we will build this formidable community where people in the community are, building legacy-driven businesses. So that's compelling. Now I'm going to show you another example of. So on the platform, which is still trying to reload, by the way, we've created templates for you to be able to do yours. So if you had one before and you feel it's not even compelling, we've created templates for you that would help you. So for example, this is one of the templates that you will get on your platform. Can you see this template? Glory, can you see this template?
Yes, ma, I can.
Okay, good. So, thank you. Good. Okay, so this is an example of one of the templates you will get. Majority of the time, we will create templates and we will even give you examples so that it will not be too daunting for you to be able to create yours. So the very first task we want you to do is this. Now, this vision worksheet helps you break down your vision, or helps you come up with your vision by answering five simple questions, right? The first one is around, what do you want to be known for? What does your business do? So we created a fictional company called PJ Logistics, the logistics company, and we just use that as an example. So here where it says, what do you want to be known for? What does your business do? This person just simply said, a logistics firm. that provides cost-effective and same-day deliveries. You see, a very simple one-liner statement was what this person wrote just for the first line. Then he now said, okay, what would you like your business to strive for? What reputation? What level of excellence? Then this person said to be the most reliable delivery service provider. We, in our own vision statement, we said the most preferred. Now, because this person is a logistics company, they decided to use the word most reliable, because I'm sure if we all think about logistics, we think that that is one of the most unreliable industries that we can never come across. They never deliver anything on time, yes or no. So they decided to choose, a word that can show that they are striving to be reliable, despite what people think about their industry. It also says that what would you like your business to become? Lagos' most preferred delivery service provider. Who is your customer? Businesses and individuals in Lagos. Where would you like your business to get to in future beyond Lagos State? So by the time this person just filled in one-liners, very simple one-liners for each of these questions, nothing complicated, we've explained, on the platform that now use those keywords and coin a statement for yourself. So at the end, this person put all those keywords that we had highlighted here and came up with a nice statement to say to be the most reliable, cost-effective, same-day logistics service provider for businesses and individuals in Lagos State and beyond. So as a logistic company, if you, as a customer, if we see that the vision statement of this company is that they want to be reliable, they want to be cost-effective, they want to do same-day logistics, they're serving businesses and individuals in Lagos State and beyond, we would see them as a serious company. Do you understand? We will see them as a serious company. Their staff as well will also see them, they can see the vision of what it is that we're trying to achieve. As a staff of TJ Logistics, we want to be reliable, which means that even the staff will be compelled when somebody is making an inquiry. They know that our vision is to be reliable. They'll feel like, no, I need to be compelled to respond in a timely manner. They know their business needs to be cost effective, same day. So these action words are compelling staff, and and the business as a whole to be mindful of their vision and abiding by what it is that they have come up with. So that's the first thing that we want you guys to do. And we're giving you a very simple template to be able to achieve that. Gloria, I might need you to share your screen once I am done, because mine is hanging. So just be on standby in case. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, so that's the first one. Any questions around this? Then I'll move to the second question really quickly. Any questions, guys? Talk to me. Let's have a quick interaction. Any questions around what I have said so far? And whether you're going forward, take your vision statement seriously.
Hello, Maureen.
So,
Good evening.
good evening.
Same talk, and I'm happy to be here one more time.
Thank you.
Okay, so I wanted to ask that once we come up with each of these tasks, to believe we're going to have feedback. So
Yes, you definitely have feedback. So there are ways that you can have feedback. The bold people. So we've actually done a pilot of this in the past, and we have people that were bold enough to share their vision, for example, on the group, right? And we critiqued it collectively and gave them feedback, and they even perfected it some more. But you also have the opportunity to be able to discuss it with your accountability partner as well. Do you understand? Whoever is being assigned to you, you can do that as well. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions on this particular point before I move to the next one so we can keep it moving? Any other questions? Okay. All right. So let's continue. Let me just check and see what this is. We are struggling to open. Okay. Let me go back to my slides. All right. So the second one now is company values. Now, why are we saying company values? Now, we're not talking about so the first thing that we told you to do is the vision. We could have also said mission and all of that, but we're trying to keep it simple. If you're the sort of person that you want to go all out, yes, you can do company vision and mission and all of that. That's fantastic. But as a minimum, if you have your vision, that will suffice. The next thing that we feel as a minimum that you should have again is your company values. Now, your company values is going to reorientate your staff to say, again, all things are passed away. This is how we were doing before. We're no longer doing that. Going forward, these are the values that we are going to be abiding by within the organization. So it's an opportunity for you to reset your culture, because your company values actually determine how the company culture is going to be like. It's going to also help in terms of your business strategy as well, right? And it also helps with your interpersonal relationships within even employees, customers, and the community. So, for example, if you say one of your values is integrity, it first means that as staff and as internal customers, as as individuals that work in the organization, we will first of all treat ourselves with integrity at all times. Then, by extension, our community, our customers, we will treat them with integrity as well. That anytime we open our mouths to say something, it will be true. It will be, we would, live up to expectations. We will not beat around the bush. That's an example of a value. Another example, like for us, for example, one of the values that we have is candor. Candor in terms of we will always be able to be candid with one another and tell ourselves the truth. As the business, in Optum, we do not like when people beat around the bush and people don't tell us the truth. We like people to just tell us the truth so that we can immediately get to work and fix whatever it is that needs to be fixed. Okay. So we like to have candid conversations. And the interesting thing is that we know that when we have these candid conversations, it's not personal. It's just one of our values. It is not personal, and individuals don't take it personal. And the truth is, yes, we might, we might call somebody to order because we're having a candid conversation, but the next minute in that same meeting we've moved on and we're talking about the next line item. In fact, we might even crack one or two jokes after that and we've moved on, but we've been able to give somebody a candid feedback and the person takes it with an open mind. That's one of our values in Optum, and we actually extend, and we actually like to receive feedback as well. So hopefully from the community we will get that as well. Okay, so we have a template for values as well. But unfortunately, this one is empty. I thought I opened the one that actually had a few values written. But there's one at the top here that has been written. I don't know if you can see my screen. Like now, for example, this one says integrity. And then the integrity was even defined because you need to define what it means to your organization. So this one has one saying, we treat everyone we come across internally or externally with integrity at all times. Okay, that's an example of one. And so we recommend that you should come up with maybe 7 values within your organization. Now the values, a lot of people like to do values and then they take the first letter and they form a word with it. Like for example, we could have come up with values that mean Optum. I don't know what you would have meant. P would be people-centric, C could have been, I don't know. But anyway, people do all of those kinds of things. It's fine. However, if your values do not form a word, it's not the end of the world. The most important thing is that for you, you must know what your values are, and you all must, be able to imbibe those values as an organization. So we have this template there. I will make sure that we have one that is filled out with the examples of values. And if you go online or use ChatGPT, which is one of those things that we will be showing you guys how to use actually, a lot of ChatGPT, but using the right prompts to be able to get the answers that you want, you can come up with values of your own that really fits to your organization. All right. The third thing that we would like you guys to look at is your financial goals. Now, it's important that you set some kind of financial goal. Now, even if you do not share that financial goal with the entire team, even though to a large extent you should, because as a team, you should all be working towards that goal, and let the staff also know that yes, so we're 50%, we're 75% in terms of achieving that goal. As a minimum, you need to be able to at least find other ways to measure indirectly what it is you're trying to achieve. And I'll give you examples of that in a second. But we have a whole section on the platform that explains how you should break down your financial goals. So, but if I should use this as an example, let's say now you're interested in achieving 10 million naira monthly or annually, whatever the case might be. You need to first of all say, how are you going to get it? So you need to break down that 10 million naira into what we called your sales segment. Two types that we put here, for example, are customer types and maybe product types. So, for example, if I was to use Temitokwe's organization as an example, Temitokwe runs detailed restorers. So they are a cleaning company. To say it lightly, I'm sure they should have a more sophisticated way of saying it, but I'm doing free advertising for you, so let me continue. So they're a cleaning company. Now, she probably has 3 types of customers that she services. So she probably has corporate customers that she services, continuously on a monthly basis. And then there might be individual customers as well that might be serviced maybe on an ad hoc basis. So, for example, if I just bought a new house, or I'm moving into a new house, and I want cleaning services for the house I'm about to move into, that's another type of customer. And then there might also be which type again? I can't think of another one. It's not my industry, but anyway, I've mentioned like 2. So she might then decide that okay, based on history, we typically would get 60% or 80% of our revenue from our corporate clients, and we get like 30% from our individual clients. And then that would then be further broken down into strategy as well. So how many on average, how many on average, how do we bill, our clients, or how many cleaners do they have on average? And based on that and based on her rates, she can work her numbers up to know that, okay, our clients, let's say the corporate customers that are bringing, let me use the example that is here, 50%, then that means that 5 million is coming from the corporate clients. And then, like I said, that would be further broken down into strategies. Let me actually show you an example of what I'm talking about. Sorry. Okay, so this is an example now. So again, we're using the TJ Logistics as an example. So remember I said that they're logistics company. So they use bikes to deliver people's packages to them. Now they have 2 types of customers. So again, similar to what I was saying about the Mr. company, they have businesses that are like key accounts that continuously use them on a monthly basis to deliver packages to their customers. And then they have individuals that will just do a pay per delivery. So if I just want to send something to somebody, I can call them and they just deliver for me, and that is it. But they also have companies that use them regularly. So let's say I'm an Instagram seller now, and people are buying products on Instagram from me. I probably would have them on retainer, and so they're constantly, delivering stuff for me. Now, they did their financial goals by quarter, and they said they want to generate 2.5 million naira in pay per delivery. Okay, so this is just pay per delivery. This is just one type, which is this second type that they're looking at. Services in the first quarter. And they were able to break down that in order for them to get 2.5 million naira, their number one strategy is that they need to fulfill 1,667 deliveries in a quarter at the rate of 1,500 naira per delivery. Now you might think that this 1,667 is a lot. Let's actually do the numbers. Who's there and who can use their phone? Okay, good. So I said divide 1,667 divided by 3, because a quarter is 3 months. Okay. So let's divide that, please.
Okay, so we have 555.6.
555.6. Okay, so that's for the month, right? So can you divide that by 4, please, so that we can get what it is in a week?
Okay, so we have 416.7.
416.7. And then
Yes.
can you divide that by 6, which is 6 working days for a logistics company?
Okay, so we have 277.8.
277.8.
Okay.
So 277.8 deliveries is what they need to do. Now, there's actually a case study on this organization, and they have about 10 bikes, right? And so each of those bikes are probably doing 20 deliveries each per day. And that's how they came up with the number. Do you understand? So using unit economics, they were able to just break it down. And that's going to now be their strategy that, okay, how can we ensure that our 10 bikes, with the 10 bikes that we have, each of those bikes will be able to do 20 deliveries on a daily basis. And so they will tell themselves, okay, they would develop retention tactics to ensure that 70% of existing individual customers require their delivery services at least twice a month. So the individual customers are saying that, okay, at least twice a month, we will identify customers that do repeat orders with us, and we'll make sure that we have some kind of retention tactics with them. They also said they will do referral program. They also said they will do monthly sponsored adverts to gain a minimum of 50 new customers monthly. So they have their tactics here. Now, somebody should be asking me that, oh, MI, but why are we talking about goals when we're talking about structure? Your structure and your processes need to deliver your goals for you. So the very beginning, one of the things that is extremely important is for you to understand your goals. When you understand your goals, every process and structure, and if I was to explain this in very simple English, every single activity, because activities are processes actually, right? Every single activity that you're doing on a daily basis is actually delivering on your goals for you. So your processes are designed to achieve your goals. That's the connection. Okay. And so if I extrapolate to our staff, it's important that we understand these goals so that the day-to-day activities that we would be designing and putting processes and structures around, they themselves understand the importance of those activities. That those activities are what are going, these are the activities that will deliver on the goals for us. Okay, so that's the connection, and that's why we need to do this early on. So we started the year already and we have not achieved this or setting our goals. We need to ensure that we do that, and there's no better time to do it than now, especially now that we're in a new era. Okay, so that's the third thing that needs to be done. Then the last bit for this week into early next week is our org structure. All right, now we will guide you on drawing a very simple org structure. It doesn't have to be anything complicated, and as you grow, as we evolve, as things become clearer, we can begin to tweak the org structure as we go along. Okay, now again, you should be saying, oh, MI, why are we drawing org structure at this stage? Your structure, so when we say processes, processes are your day-to-day activities that deliver on your goals. Your structure are the various departments that house the processes that deliver on your goals. Okay. Now, I always use an analogy. Think of your house. Imagine if you built a house and there were no rooms in your house for different activities. So you literally open the front door, and when you come in, it is just an open space. There are no walls that partition anything. So it's in that same open space that you're cooking, you're sleeping, using the bathroom and all of that, and you have different people in there doing all sorts in there, but there's no partitioning. What would happen, or what you would end up with, is a bit of chaos. Okay, but now imagine your house that has different rooms. So you have your kitchen. Your kitchen has processes that are done in that kitchen, like your cooking process. You have your inventory in your kitchen, and so on and so forth, storage for your food processes, and so on and so forth in your kitchen. And so the staff members that work in your kitchen, they know that, oh, we are the ones working in the kitchen, and these are the processes that govern what we're doing. Those walls that we create, or those rooms that exist in a house, is actually what we mean by structure. So a lot of people often get confused and they hear, yeah, structure. But what really is structure? It is what I have just explained. The same way you have your bedroom to be able to sleep and rest, wake up and then get your day going, is the same way. And the processes that belong to the bedroom, the processes that belong to, which other rooms do we have? Various rooms in the house. That's the same way. So it's the same way we have HR, department and HR structure. We have our accounting department and accounting structure, customer service department and structures. That's what we mean. So it is important that when we start, we actually sketch our organizational structure. Now, your next question could be, oh, but Emma, we don't have a lot of staff. We don't even have all of these departments. Yeah, that's fine. Sometimes in the beginning, you have staff wearing multiple hats. So they're doing 3 functions. You write their names. So when you draw something similar like this, you write their names under each of the structure. Let me try and show you an example. Let me start with a good example. Okay, yes, I do. Fantastic. All right. So look at this, for example. Okay. Look at this. Let me see. Are there repeated names? Okay, no, they're not, but I can explain what I'm trying to explain. Okay, so this is TJ Logistics as an example. This is a very simple org structure that they sketched for themselves. Remember my fictional company that we're using. This is the CEO. They have somebody that is functioning in some kind of capacity for HR, somebody that is functioning in some kind of capacity for accounting. They have their customer retainer. Because remember, one of their strategy is retention of existing staff. So they deliberately ensure that they have a retention officer. And then they have operations, who is in charge of all the bikes, the dispatch riders and co. Then they have a digital marketer. Because again, one of their strategy is to do continuous digital marketing on social media. So you can see how the structure is aligned with their strategy, right? So they have all of that here. Now, you can see that their names, I don't know if you can see this properly. Can you guys see the names that are there? Lori, can you guys see the names?
I can.
Okay, good. All right, so the names there. Now, now, if you're a smaller organization, yes, we have somebody called Yetunde under human resources. But let's say Yetunde is also supporting, because we're a small team. Yes, her HR function might not be a lot or very demanding. She might also be the person that is helping out with retention. So all we just have to do is duplicate Yetunde's name in place of where we have Mary here. So Yetunde's name is under customer retention and it's also under human resources, right? Now, as the business begins to grow, what then happens is that you then determine which of the roles you're breaking off from Yetunde and getting somebody new to take on that role. So for example, if Yetunde's primary function was actually human resources, but she was helping out with customer retention, then you can then, as the company becomes a bit bigger, hire for the customer retention role and take this away from Yetunde and then give it to the new person that is coming in. But you would only be able to do that clearly when you have structure, when you've sketched your org structure. Subsequent sessions that we're going to have, we're going to talk about our job descriptions and so on and so forth. Those will be part of the things that a Yetunde would have handed over to the next person. So we'll talk about that in maybe session 2 or session 3. Okay. But yes, so this is important, and what it does for everybody is that it at least ensures that people are clear. It just gives them like a visual representation of where they stand in the organization. Now that doesn't mean that they can't multitask and things like that, but at least they're clear on, okay, this is my primary responsibility, this is my primary function. And then we put some types of some popular roles that many of us have within our organizations here. Obviously, again, you can go online, you can use ChatGPT to come up with some names, but these are very popular ones that you can use to just sketch a very simple org chart. Okay, so I've said a lot. Those are the 4 things that we would be working on this week, for the rest of this week and early into next week. Do we have, let me stop sharing for a second. I wanted to show us the template. It seems my system is lagging. So let me just stop sharing for a second. If we need to show that, maybe blue, we should have to show it to us for a second. Okay, can you all hear me? I've stopped sharing for a second. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
we
can hear you.
Okay, good stuff. All right, so there were 4 things I discussed. The first was the vision, the values was the second one. The third was our financial goals, and then the last was the organizational structure. With these 4 things, you're going to lay a very good foundation in reorientating your staff, your organization as a whole. And then we have instructions on the platform that tells you, even with script and all of that, to say, okay, gather your staff members, gather them, and do a small town hall meeting. And in that town hall meeting, you're going to tell them that, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for how far you have brought the company. We really appreciate. You guys have been doing well. You've been doing great. Now we want to take the company to the next level, okay? And we're going to be putting a lot of processes and structures in place. So we need your cooperation to ensure that these things that we are putting in place, we're all abiding by it and all. But before we even get into all of that, let us remind ourselves of our business and why we're even. This is our vision. And you explain the vision to them. Let them buy into the vision. Do you understand? Let them buy into it. If you're into cleaning, yes, what we do is we help, businesses and individuals live in a clean and healthy environment. Do you understand? So that they can focus on other things that they're doing, but we ensure that they have a nice, clean, sanitized environment, and it's important. Or if you're even into travels and tours, something along the lines of, we create very good experiences for people to be able to relax, enjoy themselves, so that they can come back rejuvenated to conquer the world. Whatever it is, you need to come up with something that is very compelling. So you explain that to your staff. That's number 1. Once you've done that, the next thing, okay, we also need to look at our values. So if we have been misbehaving before, that was yesterday. Today, now, we can no longer be misbehaving. These are our values that we're going to be abiding by. We tell them, we share it. We even ask them that they should interpret what the value means. People of God, okay, so what does integrity mean? They will say it. You would commend them. What does let me say another one. Effective communication means. It means that we need to be able to tell each other the right thing at the right time and explain things properly to one another. Whatever the values is, you shall, explain it to each other and all. So that's that. And then you now tell them, okay, so our goals, this is what we are now trying to achieve. So when I was explaining that for goals, you might not everybody might want to share financial goals. There are other ways to be able to do it. I used the example of even saying deliveries, but we know that if they achieve the 1,667 deliveries, they will actually achieve the Naira goal that we are trying to achieve. So if it is to communicate to them in terms of deliveries, that's fine. If it is to communicate to them in terms of number of businesses that we're cleaning, number of individual people that we want to clean their offices or their houses on a monthly basis, that's equally fine as well. If it is to communicate, let me see which other business. If it is to say, okay, number of advertisements that we want to be able to place on a monthly basis, that's another way to go about it. If you do not want to communicate from a Naira and Kobo perspective, but if you can, even better, because that really drives home what it is that we're trying to achieve. So we let them know, but we also break down those strategies with them so that they can key into what they are doing and how important it is, right? We still have sessions down the line that talks about reward. Okay, so as we're achieving the goals, as we're achieving, little milestones, how do we reward ourselves and all of that? There's sessions for that later. But we're still at the beginning where we're talking about just communicating these goals to them. And then lastly, the structure as well. So that's a time for you to jig things around. So if there are people just doing things all over the place, it's okay for you to now come back and say, okay, you know what? Yetunde and Jude, you guys are going to focus on customer service going forward. That's your primary responsibility. But sometimes when we need you for deliveries, we will let you know. Ola and Tunde, you guys are going to be focusing on XYZ, because now you've done an org structure and you've been able to, really focus on who should really be doing what. Then later, in another session, we'll talk about succession planning, how you can ensure that there's rotation, so different people have different experiences, so you're not heavily reliant on one staff member, because people can come and go. Do you understand? So we'll talk about that one again in another session. But for today, you at least just join that org structure and you're communicating these things to them. So you do all of that. Now, in that session, just buy small Fanta, small Coke, small pack rice if you have money, or small what's it called, meat pie or chin chin, just to make it a little lively. We're giving you instructions on what you can do, and make it into a thing, into a small little town hall, and have that conversation with them. I kid you not, for those that have done this, they felt like, yes, they were in a new era. Their staff even felt a little rejuvenated. They felt like, okay, things are going to get better in our organization. And it was a very good way to restart the organization. Do you understand? And to a large extent, people were complying and open to the changes that were coming. So that's all we want you to do for this set of tasks. I've said a lot because I wanted to make sure that you guys understand. But everything I've said that you guys should do is very easy. We've given you templates and all of that to do it. We've even given you scripts in some instances that you can use to do this. So I've said a lot. Do I have your commitment? Does anybody have questions around what we have said you should do and how to go about it? Any questions? Now, let me just quickly state this before people might ask questions. So where does your right-hand person come in? Funny enough, your right-hand person technically comes in session 2. Your right-hand person cannot write your vision for you. They cannot write your values for you. They can support you in doing it, but this bit is really for the business owner. Your financial goals is still you. Your org structure is you to a large extent, but your right-hand person can do all of that. So technically, the way we even wrote the script is that you, first and foremost, should even think about this. But it's okay for you to do a brainstorming session with the right-hand person. You come up with it. After that, once we've laid the foundation properly, your right-hand person can run with the next set of tasks and things like that that we would want them to do. Okay? So I hope we're clear on that. Okay. So questions, clarity. Any questions? Or have I explained this very well? Do you have any questions? Any questions? Questions? Are we all clear? Can you guys hear me? Am I speaking to myself?
No, coach, we are clear. Well, I am clear. So.
Okay, good. Thank you, Sophie. I appreciate it. Thank you. Are others clear as well? I can see another name I don't really recognize. Juliana. Juliana, how are you? And just say hello. Okay. The person is muted, but that's fine. Okay. So now let me state this, please, as a clause. We do not want to leave anybody behind in this community. And so it is important. This is something that I'm going to continuously be re-emphasizing, that you must keep up with your activity. As business owners, yes, I know we're busy, but it's that busyness too we're trying to fix. We're busy doing a lot of things that we as business owners should not be doing. Okay? I keep saying it anytime I'm doing this session. There are people understudying me as I am doing this session right now. Okay? Because going forward, they will be the ones doing the session, so that it will not revolve around me as I speak. Glory, you want. She knows herself. As an example. Do you understand? And so we do not want to be constantly busy, overwhelmed that we cannot think creatively about our business. Okay, so what am I trying to say in simple English? You need to create the time. You need to break the vicious cycle and tell yourself that this thing that we're telling us to do is important. So we're going to create time where we're going to get these things done. And gradually, if we invest this time upfront, we will see that down the line, in a month's time, in 2 months' time, in 3 months' time, we will wake up one day and we will realize that, wow, a lot of things are going to work in our organization. Wow, my staff are not, my staff are no, I'm no longer chasing my staff up and down. They're actually doing what they need to do. Do you understand? But you have to put in the work upfront now. So if anybody is lagging behind or we're chasing you, you're not doing the work, I won't lie to you, we'll remove you from the community. There's no point in you being. No point. So you have to sacrifice and you have to put in that effort. Please. Okay? Alright. Any last questions, any observations, any comments, any comments or anything like that?
Yes, please. Is this recorded?
It is recorded.
Will it be shared or else to rewatch later?
Okay, we'll see what we can do. We'll have to edit 1 or 2 bits. Maybe once we can do that, we'll send.
Okay, thank you.
Like in the beginning where we were waiting for people to join and all of that. It's just busy. So we'll see what we can do.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. So I think we are good. The platform, unfortunately, I wanted to show you guys things on the platform, but you already have access, so you can do so yourself. The instructions are there, the templates are there for you to download. Then lastly, you won't have access to everything in one go. You only have access to what we have told you to do today. Those 4 things that we have told you to do today. That's what you're going to have access to for the next week. Once you've done with that, the next batch of activities will open. So it's a gradual thing. We don't want you to be overwhelmed. And we can track in the back end by the way. That's why we're using the platform. You will know how far you have gotten. And then your accountability partner will also touch base with you to know how far you have gotten. So please let's ensure that we're on top of it. All right. On that note, and in the absence of any additional comments, thank you very much for joining this evening's session. And I wish you guys at the very best with these activities that you are embarking on, and please interact in the community. Yes, that's another thing. So let me say that the community, the WhatsApp is going to be as lively or as boring as we make it. We can choose to interact with it. We can choose to have fun in the group. What are the ways for us to do that? As we're even doing our session. So for example, if I am having a conversation with my right-hand person and we're discussing one of the tasks, we can do a video. You can take a picture and say, and do a piece like that. We are discussing our task and all of that. And post it in the group. We will only hail you. We would encourage you. You'll be happy. You'll be excited to carry on with the task. Do you understand? So please, let's make the group interactive. But if the group is silent, we're all just forming busy and all of that, it will be boring. Do you understand? So please, let's interact. Let's put our goals there. If we get to the stage where we're even calling our team members together and having that town hall, and we bought more rice, we bought more coke and all of that, take a picture of it and put it in group and say, yes, so please, we're having our town hall, we have done our task, give us feedback on how it went. That's what we want to hear. That's how we can ginger each other to show that yes, we are moving forward. Okay, so please, let's make the group lively. That would be very much appreciated. All right, so thank you very much. It's been a fantastic evening. I hope you guys picked up 1 or 2 things. And on that note, I don't think there's any more questions. I will say we were calling it a night. So thank you, everybody, and have a lovely evening.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.